Astrology time, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. Sunday, the 9th of November. What's happening today? Well, not a lot. The moon's going to be Cancer all day long. Mercury is officially retrograde at 2:02 in the afternoon. That's in the PM, okay? Listen very carefully until the very end of this, okay? This is where the flow is steering this conversation. Now, let's begin with some of the standard Mercury boilerplate. Boilerplate is the beginning of code sequences where you're actually just stating what the code is and telling the computer what's going on, what your format is and everything, right? So let's talk about this. Very simply, when Mercury's retrograde, we don't really make new purchases of big-ticket items. We kind of tend to delay that unless we've been considering it for a long time, right? We avoid buying cars, computers, cell phones, things that are tech in nature, right? These are tech items. We avoid that because Mercury makes tech go weird, right? Like you've probably been experiencing the last couple of days because we haven't even been into it. But with Mercury stationing, and you can feel it coming on, yeah, schedules got weird, stuff started dropping off. We didn't really know why, but now you know why. There's a why behind all of this. Now, when we enter into new contracts, and that's going to be tough. Negotiations, even tougher, because it affects communication, right? What does Mercury rule? Communication, logic, mercantilism. That's why the big-ticket items, the purchases come into it, right? Mercury, mercantile, same root word. Also, communication, hampered, right? It's almost like you're handcuffed or something, or tongue-tied. You just can't get the words out. It isn't impossible to communicate. It isn't impossible to do any of these things, but it's just going to take a lot more time than normal because it's just slowed down, all right? Even logical processes like how we think and stuff like that are going to get wonky. Now, think about this. What is a Mercury retrograde good for? Good? Good, you say, Shane? Yes, I said good. Astrologers like to say that we need to pay attention to the rewords, right? What are the rewords? Well, any word that has re in front of it. Rethink our reactions to situations. Revise, review, and reconsider what worked. Take stock of any lessons. And as Mercury finally begins to turn direct, because this is a cycle, right? This is the third cycle of this year. And anybody that's been here for a while knows that I love the cycles within cycles. This is something that just it defies our standard, the way we normally meet out the year as far as time-wise, the Gregorian calendar. We have the astrological cycles. We have astrological seasons. We have planetary retrograde cycles. I mean, heck, the Venus cycle takes 8 years to complete, right? So that's something there. But Mercury happens to do this 3 or 4 times a year, go retrograde. So personal planets, right? Personal, what's more personal than your thoughts? Okay, so we will also revisit our plans and desires and redirect any misplaced energy as we come out of Mercury retrograde. Okay, so today's keyword is going to be exactly that, retrograde, because we're going to have Jupiter going retrograde on Monday, so that's going to be fun too. Not quite so personal because Jupiter is not considered a personal planet as Mercury, but it's still out there, right? It will affect, reworking and reviewing laws and institutions and things like that. Institutions are more Saturn, laws, truth, what we're working towards, our goals and our fortune. It's more what Jupiter is about. Doesn't slow it down and it doesn't make it any less possible. It just makes it so that we go back and we revise and rework what works. And rewords work for any retrograde. All right, so, and think about it. Half of the year, most of the outer planets are all retrograde for about that time because it's just relevant to where they are at in terms of the Earth, right? It's an optical illusion because Mercury is going around the sun faster than the Earth, so that's why it happens 3 times a year. And it just appears, if you were to look out the sky, it would look like Mercury would be tracking backwards in the sky, but it's just because Earth is overtaking it. Or Mercury's overtaking the Earth. All right? So, or the opposite, when it's on the other side of the sun. So, let's go. The color is the waning gibbous moon. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a super moon. It's been beautiful. It's huge, rising up. It looks really great. I love driving with it off to the side of me, just looking at it and just marveling in the beauty of it. Now, you can feel how everything is getting just a bit rocky, right? You can feel that. I felt it today, or yesterday, rather, because it's still, it's 1:56 in the morning right now when I'm recording this. So let's talk about this. Schedules, they're disrupted. Appointments, they're falling off. Tech, not working as it should, right? Doesn't matter. And those who support us, where they at? We're out. I'm out working. I can't get a hold of anybody. So, listen. The sun in Scorpio still hungers for what is ours. Mercury in Sagittarius showed us, it displayed us. It was featured us in a very positive light. It's only been for about a week, but, hey, we did it. All right. So now we need to deal with the shadow side of that positivity. What's the shadow side of positivity? It could be jealousy. It could be whatever it is, right? It could be things that we did that we didn't quite fully take the time to appreciate and understand the nuance and details of it, right? Now we need to deal with that. We review the minor glitches and mistakes that may have occurred as we careen through October. Yeah, let's go. Do it all. Okay, slow down for a second, because what happens eventually is that's going to make it better as we move forward. And that better, we just can't deny. So, there's no need to be upset about this. There's no need to be like, oh my goodness, Mercury's retrograde. I can't buy anything. I can't do anything. No, you can do all that stuff. Just consider it carefully. All right? It's going to take time. It's going to take more time. Christmas shopping, good example, right? It's going to take more time picking out some gifts. We're going to have Mercury retrograde probably till, 3 weeks, right? So beginning of December, it'll go direct. You can put everything off until then, or you can just be kind of cautious about it and think about it, right? And there's going to be a lot of natural caution out there because of the state of everything and economies and stuff like that, and just where we're at with the whole saga, the whole backstory behind life in this latter part of 2025, okay? Particularly in the United States. Okay, so just know, okay, that whatever it is that we're reviewing and everything like that, nothing is going to take away from your accomplishments up to this point, okay? You're going to work on becoming the best and most elevated version of your vibrational self by embracing the retrograde, embracing the spirit of it, and really digging into that rework, okay? Because that's something that's very important. The moon in Cancer provides us with a unique opportunity to look at these Mercury retrograde things from the sign where Jupiter is at. So where that abundance came from, where that abundance is headed into our nurturing home life and our emotional stability and how we want to just be able to grow in all sorts of dimensions and just, even emotionally, right? There's an emotional maturity that's come around, hopefully, for most of us. So that right there tells us that the moon is going to intensify our ability to understand and grasp the retrograde and do it from an intuitive point of view. Cancer, right? The moon, Cancer, female energy, Cancer. Intuitive. We're going to feel it. We're going to be experiencing it viscerally. Okay? That, while the world bristles at the notion of Mercury retrograde, oh my God, Mercury's retrograde, our intuitive family, you and I and everybody else, will be busy assessing, improving, and reforming our past success and communications in an entirely different light and from an entirely different place. A place of wholeness for us, right? That's where we're going to do it. It won't be easy, and sometimes it's going to defy logic. Good. Now, there's something here that clicks. It isn't the pursuit of the material. That's right, it's not. It's a reward for a job well done. It isn't the frequency of the words, but it's the intentions behind them. And by frequency, I don't mean vibrational frequency. I mean the amount of words, the volume of words, the verbal, blah, 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 there's a nasty word for that. I'm not going to use it. All right. That's what it's about. Okay. It's about being able to put that stuff together. It's the intentions behind the words that are going to cut through the static and noise of the retrograde and be able to get our points across to each other, our tribe, and our loved ones. Okay? And it isn't because the technology is failing us, right? You know, it's going to happen. We're going to need to work around this. That's what we need to do. The Mercury retrograde strengthens us at home in ways that we haven't even really considered. But you're going to feel them. Now that I got all that said, hopefully you find that helpful. All right. I hope I touched on a couple of things, like why we need to talk about this right now. That would be for your resident intuitive, and just basically the Mercury retrograde, the mechanisms that are behind it for Eve. Anybody else that has any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will make sure that I try to answer them. And as we go through this all together, just go ahead and share some of your experiences. Put them down below. I love hearing about that stuff. I will comment back. Usually always do. Might be a day delayed, but you never know. Okay, so in 1989, the Berlin Wall started to fall, right? East Berlin opens its borders at the Bornholmer Strasse crossing, where thousands arrive after East German government official Günter Schabowski mistakenly announces that restrictions on travel to the West will be lifted immediately and without delay. Boom. All right. It's a great time. All right, and in 1948, Michel Pagliaro, he's a Canadian rock singer born in Montreal, Quebec. He's the first Canadian artist to score top 40 hits on both the Francophone and Anglophone charts in Canada, right? English-speaking charts and the French-speaking charts. Now, bridging the language gap with music that resonates intuitively, now that sounds very appropriate for this Mercury retrograde cycle. A little long, but you guys are worth it. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Leave comments, share, do the nice things, right? If you think I left something out, let me know. If you think what I added to you had some value, let me know. Share it with other folks and save it for your favorites. Give me a like and all that neat stuff, okay? Keep it growing. That's my goal for this particular cycle. And it's pretty difficult, pretty lofty goal with Mercury retrograde, but we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together. All right, so let's sum it up. Our color is the waning gibbous moon. Yep, she's out there. And the keyword is retrograde because we got Mercury retrograde. Appreciate and love you all, as always. Today is a 5. Happy astrocatting.